All right, today is Friday, and it's about 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific. I guess it's Mountain Time now, Jim. But this is the house that we had at the Flagstaff location. We only had one location up there, and that was at 7,000 feet. And what was interesting about this is that when I went up there, there was actually one of the nest holes open. Jim, do you have a pair of scissors? Well, never mind, we're good. There was one nest hole filled, but it was filled with a material that didn't resemble that of a mason bee, which is usually mud that they use to plug up the end, or a leaf cutter, which is leaves that they use from different bushes that they go pollinate. So that was curious about that one hole, and I'm going to point that out. If I can get a. Okay, this was a hole that was of interest. So I brought it back down here to Gilbert, and right away Jim and I started opening it, and much to our surprise, there were some other bees in there, and they were not of a species that either Jim or I recognized. And frankly, it's because we didn't know what they were, and I didn't want to kill them at that point. We packed them up, and I've kept them in storage for a couple of weeks. So we're now going to open it, and this will be the last house that we basically harvest. And this is a sample of the type of bee that was in there. Now I'm going to gently remove the bee, because I don't think it's alive anymore. I hope not. And you can see what we can do to identify it. Now the important thing about this is, remember, there was only one hole plugged here, but as Jim and I lifted the laminates, there were many more of these same type of nests. Now, the theory is that these are some type of a solitary bee, not a social bee, because there's no hive. There are nests here, which you can clearly see. And they were using a material located within their geographic area to fill these holes. And there were many, many more. This is the one of particular interest, because the entire row is full. And we're going to be very careful to keep this intact so that our colleagues at the OBA can help us identify exactly what species of bees these are. So I'm going to continue opening the laminates one by one, just like we would if it was a leaf cutter or mason bee. Maybe I need to just pry this a little bit. But what surprised us was, although visually we could only observe one hole completely full, when we opened it that day, there were a lot of bees in here. And that's why we decided to just take our time and identify first of all, Jim and I want to identify the materials that are being used and the species of bees. So we're going to, again, carefully take the bee out. It's not as easy as you think, because they've been in a state of coolness for several weeks now. But you see there was some type of packing material in each one of these. And believe me when I tell you, these bees were very active when we first opened up. So we're going to take high resolution pictures of these three bees. We're going to send them to our friends at the USDA Bee Lab, and see what they think. And this will conclude the fourth site location up in Flagstaff at 7,000 feet. And we recorded the temperatures, etc., that will be on the final report. I don't take any chances with this one. Remember that one Mason bee ate through the... I know there's something in here. Do you want to film this?
Yeah, I am.
What's the date?
15th. Today's the 15th of November. Okay, you want to open it, or
Yeah.
you want to put your gloves on?
No, it's okay. I think we're going to be okay. This was the tube that was full of about 60 mason bee cocoons when we put them out in the spring. And what happens is, as the bee emerges from the cocoon, they'll come here and they'll chew right through this blue material, and they'll open this hole up. Then they'll disperse and do their pollination thing. Now, we want to find out what's in here because, again, neither Jim or I recognize this species of bee, and they were using this tube. Yep, this is going to be an interesting one. Oh, look what we got here. Look at what we've got there. That's the mother load. Now, as you can see, these all appear to be of the same species that we took from the laminate. And it's hard to tell whether they emerged from the cocoons, or for all we know, these could be a predator to the mason bee. And so what they did, perhaps, was feed on the larvae of the mason bee cocoons. Now, it's not unusual to have certain types of wasps, I thought they were smaller than this, as predators to solitary bees. But the fact that they took up home in the laminate and also in the tube is a curious thing that we need to get to. And interestingly, I'm going to separate this one here because this seems to be a cocoon with something, I don't know what it is, something emerging. Let's see if it's the same type of bee. Or it could be a bee in there, again, feasting on a larva of the mason bee. We'll find out.